So today we're going to be talking about my cranking experience in the Navy. If you don't know what cranking is whenever you go from your parent division, which is your job that you work at, and you go from your parent division to work for supply. And usually you can go to 2-3 different types of things. In my job as an MC, we have 3 different billets we can go to, which is security, where you stand watch, and that's about a year-long billet. Or you go to MWR, which is like you maintain gym equipment and host like various events. You participate in those events, and that's like a 6-month billet. And then you go and work with the cooks in the galley or supply, and that's for 3 to 6 months depending on what it is. I don't want to put out the wrong information, but for me, my billet was only 3 months, and my billet was a mess deck master at arms. And I was the mess deck master at arms admin person, so I was basically the yeoman for supply for 3 months, and we're going to talk about that experience. So go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. Alright, so let's talk about my first day. So on my first day, I actually met with my buddy that I was turning over with in supply, and usually we're supposed to have a 3-day turnover, but for us, due to lack of manning in both supply and in media, we only had a 1-day turnover. So he really taught me about as much as he could, but since we had such a weak turnover, there was a lot of stuff that I had to figure out initially. And so a lot of my first month being in supply was really me just trying to figure out, okay, how do I do this? How do I do this? Pretending that I knew things that I didn't know, just so I could put my best foot forward and keep my job as the yeoman for supply, because it was a pretty nice arrangement. I know probably a lot of people haven't even heard of that. I don't know if that's another thing that happened on other ships, but this is my cranking experience. Alright, so let's talk about my responsibilities. I was in charge of mustering about 56 sailors, so every morning I would print the muster report and I would go submit it to the supply yeoman. They had a supply yeoman that works in the suppo's office. She's absolutely great. She's one of my friends. I really appreciated working with her, and I was really grateful for the opportunity to be able to keep my job. And so I was really working hard for CS1, and since I was an MC doing this billet, they were having me make things that an MC would make for supply. So if they needed somebody to come take pictures, they would always come to me and be like, hey, I need you to take pictures at quarters, or hey, I need you to make some type of binder sheets, things like that. While I was there, the division changed a lot because we had 2 inspections. So the first inspection that we went through was called NA, which is like this really big inspection. It's like their Super Bowl. It's like a competition between all the ships. And so a lot of what I was doing at that time was preparing NA stuff. So I was working on a video for NA, I was working on binder sheets for NA, any type of thing that they needed printed out for NA, that was me. And on those days, I was staying till about 10 some nights. I stayed up late, really trying to make sure everybody was set up for success, because ultimately I like to come to a place and leave it as a better place. So if you guys, are trying to like do something like that, make sure you put your best foot forward. You don't want to leave anyone worse off than you were. Then after NA, we went to import hours, and import hours were really, really great as the FSA yeoman. FSA is a food service attendant for the people that didn't know. It was really nice, dude, because I was coming in at like 7 and I was leaving at like 13, 12:30, stuff like that, just depending on how much work I had to do for the day. And I was reporting directly to my CS1 at the time, and so anything that they needed done, they would just give me a list and they'd be like, hey, I need you to make this, I need you to make this. And if there wasn't anything, I would try to find something to improve upon, and I would just sit there and improve it. So it gave me a lot of time to grow, not only as a sailor but as an MC as well, and working independently basically for a whole nother division, doing things all on my own. And then we go underway for about a month. Now I'm gonna do a separate video about a month-long underway. What do you need to bring? How do you prepare? Everything like that. So go ahead and leave a like and subscribe for that if that is something that interests you, so that you can stay prepared in the Navy and you know exactly what to expect from a month-long underway. And of course, I'm going to be doing videos about deployment and things like that. So stay tuned, leave a like and subscribe. But we went underway for about a month while I was cranking, and this was my last month cranking. So instead of going home after a day in port, it was work all day. And we'll talk more about that in the video of my month-long underway. But pretty much during the time while I was cranking, I was standing in the lines. So when you stand in the lines as a mess deck master at arms, you pretty much tell people to roll up their sleeves, take off their jackets, take off their covers, which are hats for the people that don't know. And you just have to make sure things are sanitary. So you're wiping down the counters, you're using soap, things like that. And if you are going cranking and you're watching this video to prepare for going cranking, try to become a mess deck master at arms. To do that, you're gonna need to get your mess deck attendant qual and your mess deck master at arms qual. And if you work really hard and you just prove yourself, I pretty much guarantee that you're gonna get it. A lot of people, whenever they go cranking, they're lazy. They have this attitude of, this is not my division, so I don't care about this job at all. But if you go in there and you just actually care and you do a good job, I guarantee you'll get promoted. That's just how it works. Just be nice to everybody, respect everyone, and try to make friends with people above you. Take care of them, make them happy, and you'll be successful. At this time, we were also just preparing more binders, doing a lot of things to prepare for another inspection. So we had SMAs coming up, and SMAs for supply is pretty much what qualifies the galley to be able to serve for deployment. So if you don't pass SMAs, you have to do another inspection and another inspection. And so the chain of command was really adamant about us getting this done, getting SMAs ready so that we can just really be successful and don't have to be in inspection mode all the time, and we can just do our job and maximize liberty where we can. And liberty is like your time off. When you join the military, for my people who haven't, you're gonna want time off, bro, I swear to God, because you work a lot. But I mean, it's not that bad. And as I was preparing for SMAs, I also had to take up a lot more responsibility over the sailors that were under me. So I was helping people with routing chits, anything like that. So I was really kind of developing my leadership skills and learning from all the first classes around me, because I was working with a lot of first classes of how to be a leader, how to do things that work, how to do things that don't work, seeing what makes people successful and what doesn't make people successful. And if you are interested in maybe seeing a video about leadership skills and, you know, how to develop your leadership skills and what good leadership is compared to bad leadership, go ahead and put that in the comments. I just want to see if you guys are interested in a video like that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And we're gonna go into an overview of cranking now. So should you be worried about going cranking? Definitely not. Obviously not everybody's gonna be the yeoman FSA like how I was. Normal cranking, if you're a blue shirt, so there's a chain of command, right? So you have black shirts, which are like the supervisors, and then you have blue shirts, which are pretty much the supervised. So there's different billets for everything. Usually the black shirt should be at least an E4, E5, but if you are really good, you can get it as an E3, and if not, usually E3 and below. And if not, you'll just end up being a blue shirt, and you'll either get stuck cutting cardboard, or you'll be in the scullery washing dishes, or you could be in the bay wiping down tables, making sure the mess decks are clean. You can do a lot of different things cranking, but do you need to be worried about this experience? Absolutely not, man. The job is really not that hard. The only thing that would be a downside, I would say, is probably the hours. If you're coming from a division where you're used to having weekends off and things like that, it doesn't really work like that when you're cranking. You'll have like a shift. So for me, I was daily duty. So I was coming in, had weekends off. I wasn't in a duty section, and I got off 7 and 13 pretty much. It was a pretty good deal for me, but for everybody else, they had shifts and they worked 3 days on, or I think it was 5 days on, and then they'd have a weekend off, and they would just rotate every day. And so it was like a port watch and a starboard watch, and you have like an LPO over that, and then you have an LPO over the whole thing. But I wouldn't worry about it too much, man. It's only a short amount of time for those of you who are cranking, and you're gonna get through it and you're gonna be successful, and you're like, wow, like I just learned a lot from a different division. And you know, just get through it, just try to stay positive and have a good mindset about it, and you'll be successful. Go to leave a like and subscribe. This has been a great video, and I really appreciate you guys. Peace.